Go to your bathroom right now. You have a plastic toothbrush, a tube of mint paste, maybe some floss in a little plastic container. You use it for 2 minutes, spit it out, and think nothing of it. But for 99% of human history, none of that existed. No toothbrush, no toothpaste, no dentist, no fluoride. And yet something strange is true. Your ancient ancestors had healthier teeth than you do. Scientists have proven it. The skeletons don't lie. So what were they doing? And why does your mouth, right now, today, still carry the remnants of a system they built hundreds of thousands of years ago? The answer is stranger, older, and more fascinating than you'd expect. Let's start 3 million years ago, before our ancestors were even fully human. The mouth is the entry point of the body. Everything passes through it. And long before toothbrushes or mouthwash, the mouth had its own built-in cleaning system, one that evolution had been perfecting for millions of years. Your saliva is not just water. It contains enzymes that break down bacteria. It contains proteins that coat your teeth in a protective film. It remineralizes enamel in real time. Your mouth, left to its own devices, is a self-cleaning machine. But that machine requires one thing: the right food going into it. For 3 million years, your ancestors ate food that was rough, fibrous, and abrasive. Raw roots, tough leaves, gritty tubers pulled from the ground, meat ripped from bones. When you chew something like that, really chew it for minutes with every tooth, you are mechanically scrubbing your own mouth. The food itself was the toothbrush. Researchers have looked at fossilized teeth from early Homo habilis, dating back nearly 2 million years. The wear patterns are consistent and uniform across every tooth. No buildup, no pockets of decay. The whole mouth worked like it was supposed to. Your ancestors didn't think about dental hygiene. They didn't have to. The act of eating was dental hygiene. Stop there, because humans have always been problem solvers. About 1.8 million years ago, something appears in the archaeological record, the first evidence of deliberate oral care. Researchers studying ancient remains in Spain found Homo antecessor skulls, early humans who lived 900,000 years ago, with grooves between their teeth, thin, precise grooves, consistent across multiple individuals. They were not natural. These were made with sticks. A small, pointed twig, thin enough to fit between the teeth, pushed in, dragged out, used to remove whatever was wedged in there. The world's first toothpick. This wasn't survival. This wasn't eating. This was grooming for its own sake. A human sitting down after a meal, picking food from their teeth, not because they had to, but because they noticed something there and wanted it gone. That impulse is still in you. It never left. Then came fire, and fire changed everything, including the mouth. About 1 million years ago, your ancestors mastered controlled fire. The oldest evidence of a hearth ever found is inside Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, and it changes the dental story completely. Cooking softened food. Hard, gritty roots became soft and mashable. Tough meat became tender. The mechanical scrubbing effect of raw food began to decline. For the first time in human history, food started sticking around in the mouth longer. It was softer, it was easier to chew incompletely, and cooked carbohydrates, roasted tubers, softened grains, began to leave a sticky residue on the teeth that raw food never had. Here's the thing. Your ancestors' bodies adapted to this slowly, over generations. The relationship between cooking and oral health became a balancing act. They cooked the food which grew their brains, but they also kept eating plenty of raw, fibrous plant material which kept the teeth clean. They ate in a way that balanced both sides without ever knowing they were doing it. By 300,000 years ago, your ancestors looked almost exactly like you do. Same brain, same mouth, same teeth. And the archaeological record from this point gets specific, fascinatingly specific. Scientists studying Neanderthal remains, your closest genetic relatives who lived until about 40,000 years ago, have found dental calculus, That's hardened plaque, fossilized bacteria, basically a time capsule baked directly onto ancient teeth, preserving everything that was in their mouths. In 2017, researchers in Spain extracted and sequenced DNA from Neanderthal dental calculus. What they found was extraordinary: evidence of plant-based medicine, specifically poplar bark, which naturally contains salicylic acid, the compound in aspirin, and penicillin mold, a natural antibiotic. One individual had a severe dental abscess, a tooth infection that would have caused constant, agonizing pain, and yet this individual was alive and apparently functional. The evidence suggests they were deliberately chewing substances they'd learned could reduce pain and infection. They didn't have dentists. They had something older than dentists: thousands of years of passed-down knowledge about what the earth could provide. And then there were the dedicated cleaning tools. Around 100,000 years ago, the first evidence of structured dental cleaning practices appears across multiple archaeological sites. Ancient humans were selecting specific types of twigs, not just any stick, but particular species with specific properties. The miswak twig. This is a twig from the Salvadora persica tree, also called the toothbrush tree. It's been used continuously in parts of Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia for over 7,000 years, and modern studies have confirmed why. The wood contains silica, an abrasive that removes stain and plaque. It contains tannins that have antimicrobial properties. It contains fluoride, naturally. It stimulates saliva production, and when you chew the end, it frays into a brush. Your ancestors had invented the toothbrush. It just grew in the ground. Scientists have compared the miswak to modern toothbrushes in clinical studies. When used correctly, it reduces plaque and bacterial load at comparable or superior rates to a nylon-bristled brush with fluoride paste. They knew this, not in scientific terms, not in chemical equations, but they knew which tree. They knew which part of the branch. They knew to chew the end until it frayed. That knowledge was passed down over thousands of generations, tested on real mouths, and passed from parent to child. And here is the evidence that proves it worked. In 2017, researchers published a comprehensive analysis of ancient and pre-agricultural teeth across dozens of populations. The conclusion was striking. Pre-agricultural humans, people living before farming, before processed food, before sugar as we know it, had extremely low rates of dental caries. Some populations, less than 1% of teeth affected. Compare that to today. Modern humans in industrialized countries have cavity rates approaching 90% in adults. Your mouth has been in a war since the invention of agriculture, and it's been losing. The shift happened about 10,000 years ago with farming. When humans began cultivating grains, wheat, barley, rice, they began eating sticky, fermentable carbohydrates in quantities their mouth had never encountered. Specific bacteria, particularly Streptococcus mutans, exploded in population. This bacteria metabolizes sugar and produces acid that dissolves enamel. It didn't come from nowhere. It was already in the human mouth in small numbers, but it was kept in check by fibrous food, natural antimicrobials, and the mechanical cleaning that came from chewing the right things. Agriculture fed Streptococcus mutans like nothing before in history. And your mouth hasn't fully adapted to it. It's still running on a system designed for a different world. Every cavity you've ever had is partly a message from the past. Your teeth were built for a world that no longer exists. So what did your ancestors actually do on a given day? They woke up and ate. The act of eating was the first cleaning of the day. Fibrous plants, tough roots, dried meat, all of it scrubbing the surface of every tooth. They chewed particular plants not just for nutrition, but what they did to the mouth. Licorice root, neem twigs, the bark of specific trees, not because they'd read a study, but because generations before them had figured out that your teeth felt better and your breath smelled cleaner when you chewed those things. They used their nail mats, small sticks, and animal bones as toothpicks after meals. The grooves found in ancient teeth show this was not occasional, it was routine. And critically, they almost never ate the thing that destroys teeth fastest: refined sugar. Honey when they could find it,
sweet fruit in season, but not the constant, unrelenting sugar exposure that exists in every meal of a modern diet. Your mouth was not perfectly clean. Ancient humans got infections, they lost teeth. Dental pain was a real and sometimes fatal part of life. An abscess that spread to the jaw could kill you before antibiotics. But the baseline, the daily condition of the average ancient mouth, far better than yours. Tonight, when you brush your teeth, think about what you're doing. You're compensating. The toothbrush, the fluoride paste, the floss, the twice-annual cleaning at the dentist, all of it exists because we changed the environment of the mouth so dramatically that the ancient system can no longer keep up. Your mouth is still built for their world. It's still running their program. The saliva, the enamel, the bacteria that were supposed to be kept in balance by fibrous food and natural antimicrobials. We replaced all of that with plastic and chemistry. We invented the toothbrush to fix the problem we created by inventing agriculture. For 3 million years, your ancestors cleaned their teeth with the world around them, a twig from the right tree, the act of eating the right things. Knowledge passed down so carefully, over so many generations, that it crossed entire continents and survived to the present day. We traded all of that for a 2-minute routine and a tube of paste we squeeze out and spit down the drain. And most of us never even knew something had been lost.